Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We're getting back into Love Island series 11. We are now on episode 4 and we are back into the messiest villa I have ever seen in my life. Like seriously ever seen in my life. But before we get into this episode, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. And let's get into this video, shall we? Oh yeah, and don't forget to comment, like, share, do what it is you good people do, because I am on the road to 1k. So all I know is how I missed Uma whispering to Joey after she's kissed him, saying I will see you later, is beyond me. When I watched the preview back, I was like, well damn, how did I miss that shit? I was too busy just looking at the expressions of the lads when they were kissing that girl, and then the expression with Io straight afterwards. I was like, okay, she had them in a chokehold, like proper had them in a chokehold. Io and Uma are gone, and the lads were literally standing there with the blindfolds on, looking like spare parts. I ain't gonna lie, they were still stood there as if to say, I don't understand what the fuck has happened. Then they've realised Ayo's disappeared, and they were like, as she took him, and I'm like, yeah, my girl was gone. There's champagne on ice waiting for them. Ayo was in that. He was in that already, telling her how gorgeous she was, that they both found out that they're both from Yoruba in Nigeria and other places that they were attached to as well. Joey's basically, when it goes back to the lads, Joey's there chatting about how it was a good little kiss. And then at that point, Sam was already on his ass. Like when they walked in, I was like, I told you this girl would not let this man go. She's trying to play it as it was banter. No, the fuck, that was not banter. On the terrace, yeah, when she was shouting out and making her jokes and her shit like that, that was banter. But when they got back into the villa, the tone dropped, man. And if I was Joel, I'd be questioning her antics and what she thinks is banter, because at the end of the day, my girl wasn't joking with him, wasn't pulling no words out with him, wasn't being sarcastic. It was all in her body language, where I am saying that it was not banter at that point in time. Let's just say Uma be lating on thick. She be lating on thick. And Ayo's going along for the ride with her, talking about how edible she was. So I was like, also one quick kiss from this gal turn him head. But I did say that Uma would be Ayo's type completely, because Ayo seems to prefer the black girls at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, Uma is beautiful, yeah, don't get me wrong, she is a beautiful black woman standing in her prowess, yeah, but it's gonna be Mimii all day every day for me. I'm sorry, it's gonna be Mimii all day every day for me, and I will be a fool to kind of let Mimii go. But I think he understands that, and that's why he is literally having his chats with Uma, but also having his chats with Mimii, but also kind of letting, it wasn't until like the pool bit, and I'll get there, he then let Mimii know that, you know what, Uma is kind of like a bit of him. At the end of the day, he is interested in her, whereas before, when he was talking to Mimii to literally let her know that, you know, we're not closed off in that sense, and you know, he wants to get to know other people, he wasn't as open in that sense. He wasn't as open, but he did explain to her as well that in him getting to know other people, yeah, it's a case of the energy that I gave to you, Mimii, is going to be the same kind of energy that I'm going to give to any new person that comes in here that takes his fancy. So this man is going to be putting the same moves on every single girl that comes in. So Mimii rightfully turned around. She weren't upset with him. She accepted what he's got to do at the end of the day, because it's only been early days with them. But I do think Mimii literally got to a point where, with how things were going for them, they hadn't had a challenge yet in terms of somebody else coming in and catching his eye. So this is going to be a new type of level playing field for her and for him. They just literally got to a point where Mimii was opening herself up to this guy. I still thought her opening up to AO was early days and vice versa. Because you can say a lot with words, but actions always count for something at the end of the day. So Mimii did turn around to AO and say to him, yeah, just watch when another bombshell comes in, then you'll have, like, then we'll be even Stevens in that sense. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the thing, she'll be even Stevens, because he wouldn't have to watch her if that man is then attracted to her. See how she then carries on with someone else. AR didn't take no offence by that in the slightest. He was happy for that camaraderie with her, and it was happy to see them having a healthy and adult conversation at the end of the day. More than I can say for other people in that place who just like to get loud and be drama filled. So like before all this conversation came out between AR and Mimii, she did get upset. I ain't gonna tell a lie, she did get upset because the guys were checking in on her, and she didn't really want that attention on her, because as people know, when it comes to showing emotions, especially as black women, we don't necessarily do that because it isn't seen as justly when it comes to us. We're supposed to be the strong ones. We're supposed to put that front out there, that even though we are not okay, we are still going to show you that we are okay. So I think that's the mindset that Mimii got when she was getting upset by people asking her if she was okay. She didn't want the whole kerfuffle of everything. She just didn't want all of that, and she kept telling them, but people weren't listening. I'm like, at the end of the day, listen to what the gal is telling you. Okay, yes, check in on her and see how she is, and then just leave her the space to say, well, if you want to come and talk to me, then I'm open. You can come and talk to me about anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be to do with the lads or anything like that. We could talk about interests, you know what I mean? But nobody catches that clue, and they're all about the drama. Like, seriously, all about the drama, especially Harriet and Nicole. They live for the drama of this place. So you do see Joey having a chat with, I think it's Kieran, and there's another two lads there as well having a chat in regards to the situation with Sam, and when they come out and Sam was turning her face and all this, that and the other, and he wasn't necessarily happy with it, and he was basically saying that he's going to have a chat with her in terms of her behaviour because he don't like that type of thing. Key words, when Joey was having his conversation with Sam, she said she was an obsessive type of person when it came to men and relationships. That was not green light, that was red light. But you know what? He continued. He didn't necessarily hear what she said. So then, as you would have it, while all the lads are talking, you hear the girls eavesdropping on their conversation and literally taking that same conversation back to Sam while she's lying there pissed off already. So I'm just like, why do you lot have to meddle in the way that you do? At the end of the day, when you eavesdrop on someone, you never hear nothing good about your arse self anyway. And Sam was playing her face. Sam did not like it in the slightest, because Joey had gone off with Uma and had his little date with her. And then you saw when Joey brought Uma back into the villa. Yeah, this is what I don't like about certain girls, when they're falsy, because they were there chatting this girl as she was going and saying hello as she walked back in, chatting her prior to her walking back in, and then as she walked back in, and then like, oh well, we need to go and be nice and say hello to her and be greeting and all this. No. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. The same way Sam still got up off the chair, but her face was like a smacked donkey's ass. Like, seriously, I wouldn't want you greeting me with your face looking like that. Why are you so ass miserable? If you got an issue with Joey, go speak to Joey. And in that event, Joey should have went and had that conversation with Sam to literally lay it down on the line exactly what they're there for, how it's going to look and what's going to be happening. Because at the end of the day, Joey kind of does like Uma. He does. And I think he will start making a play for her, like really make a play for her. But Sam needs to fix up, man. Like, seriously, she even started blurting, like proper blurting, when it came about them relaying the information that Joey and Kieran supposedly said. They didn't get the information actually right. They got some of it, but not all of it, right? Yeah, it's kind of like the whispers that goes on. You hear something, you try and relay it back to the next person, and then the next person's going to hear it completely different to how you're saying it. So yeah, so from that, Sam started blotting. I was like, I know I'm not in there in terms of how they're thinking and feeling, being in an enclosed space with each other 24/7, because it would be irritating and awkward at times and happy and jolly at other times. But sometimes you've literally got to suck something up, because I don't understand why these girls keep crying at the drop of a Ross hat, like constantly, all the time, all the damn time. So as you see Uma having a chat with the girls after she's said hello to people, and she kind of gives an awkward hug to Ronnie, because she's looking at him as if to say, do you know what, I know you from somewhere. So she goes and has the chat with the girls. Mimii kind of looks over, because you see Ayo kind of like acting up for the boys in regards to Uma, because I think it might have been Joey or it might have been Ayo that asked, well, what do you think? And Mumbia says, yeah. And like he was stuttering, and I was like, rah. And you know, as lads do, they get loud and leery. So Mimii was looking over at him as he mapped him out. Joey was talking to Kieran about dealing with the situation with Sam, and basically saying that it's just going to be too much. And I'm like, she and Joey are going to be a headache for real, like seriously a headache for real. She needs to temper her reactions to certain things, because she just blew that way out of proportion. And instead of Joey speaking to the lads about it, he should have went straight to Sam and spoke about it with her at the end of the day, because that would have stopped the situation from snowballing even further. So I was there telling the boys, guys, pray when you go to bed tonight, because it's about to get sticky. So Uma wanted a tour of the place, so Ronnie took her for a tour, but you could see that Ayo wanted to go follow them as well, to be able to keep going on and chatting to her and being close to her. And all I can say is Uma was bombshelling the hell out of the place. Uma was doing what she came in to do. Oh God, so he managed to get Munvia to be his wingman in the art of distraction, and walked up with Ayo while Ronnie and Uma were going towards the inside of the villa to check things out. So as it stood, you see Uma and Ronnie actually talking about how they knew each other. Now, bearing in mind, Uma did tell the girls that she believed her and Ronnie kissed, but it was a messy night, so she don't fully remember. But then she was so sure in herself that she told Ronnie, oh no, we didn't kiss. He remembered where he knew her from, but she was like, nah, we didn't kiss. I was like, okay, is that how you're going to play it? We know Uma's definitely got two people that she's interested in, and that is Ayo and that is Joey, because she can't stop pulling them for chats, let's just put it that way. So even though Ayo's believing that he will catch fire for showing Uma to the terrace and everything that may occur on there, Mimii is not like that. He won't catch fire from Mimii, because at the end of the day, she's a watcher and she will move accordingly in terms of what it is that you are showing her. And that's what she said. She will step back and be observant and see what's going to go on around her, basically. Mimii completely says to the girls that, you know, Uma is Ayo's type and she's a 10-10 girl. It doesn't help that she's pretty. So Mimii can appreciate a good looking woman. She's not like the others where she literally has to sit there and backstab a woman to death. We're doing, like with Mimii, to make her feel better. You don't have to tear another woman down in order to make other woman feel better at the end of the day. All you have to do is be there in case she wants to talk. If Mimii don't want to talk, then you act accordingly to how Mimii wants to handle things. Anyway, the only person who had a bit of common sense about them, was Jess. Because she basically let them know that everybody's fair game in there. And that's at the point where I said Sam started to ugly cry. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, and even then they started eavesdropping again when Joey was explaining to the lads that Uma's a nice girl, she's a kind girl, and she's full of energy. And they then relayed it back that he's saying, he really likes her. I'm like, well, where did you get that from? because he didn't say that. He was just literally explaining to the lads the impression that he got of Uma at the end of the day. Anyway, so Kieran and Nicole. Kieran basically lets Nicole that he's on her fully, like he wants her fully. He doesn't really want Harriet. He's leaning more towards her, but he literally has to be respectful. He turned around and he said that he really wanted to kiss her then and there. Nicole was lapping it up like you would not believe. So tell me why when Kieran get in bed with Harriet, he starts kissing her. I'm like, that's not being respectful, my guy. And if that gets back to Nicole, then oh my God, how will be a brewing for you? And also, it's giving the wrong impression to Harriet. At the end of the day, the person that you said you still want to get to know, but you're leaning more towards Nicole because she's more in terms of what you want. Because I really do think Harriet played herself stupid by doing the little stupid act that she did with Joey that day, which kind of, I think, again, gave Kieran the ick. But as it shows, when a man starts thinking with his Jojo, with his Johnson, yeah, all common sense goes out the window. So he's there explaining how she was moving about, and he was just like getting into her moving about and stuff, and then the kiss just kind of happened. He doesn't regret the kiss, and he does say that, you know, he was all in on that kiss, but it's a case of now he's going to have to let Nicole know. But where Kieran went wrong is he gets up in the morning, he doesn't even say good morning to Harriet. He goes out, makes a coffee, gives it to someone else because he's not man enough to give it to Nicole himself. Do you know what I mean? Because Harriet was in there. And if he thought Harriet didn't notice that, that man is sorely mistaken. That's why when the next shit happens, yeah, I think that's why Harriet did what she did, because I think Harriet can be a little bit vengeful when she's ready, and as we already know, she can be hella petty. So you see Uma going around taking Ayo for a chat. She's took Joey for a chat. They're both trying to find out whether she's decided yet. She's not decided in the slightest. You also see Harriet and Nicole taking Uma for a chat. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Because they both want to tell Uma the issues that they're having with Kieran at the moment. So Uma does give good advice to Nicole, where she tells Nicole, well, if that's the case, in terms of like the impression that she's getting is Kieran is wanting to give more to you than what he's given to Harriet, then you and Harriet need to have that chat. Me myself, I would have thought that Nicole would have had that chat with Harriet, like, you know, from the second night, but she didn't at the end of the day. So you see Nicole go and pull Harriet for a chat, and this is where it starts. So Harriet is sitting there basically having this chat with Nicole and saying to Nicole, well, tell me what's your chat's been about, yada yada yada. She literally listens to Nicole tell her what their chats have been about, what Kieran's been saying to her in regards to wanting to be with her, like to the point of wanting to kiss her and stuff like that, but didn't want to be disrespectful, and listening to Nicole yarn about her feelings towards Kieran. Harriet was superficial in her chat with Nicole, and she didn't even mention to Nicole, which she should have done, well, in actuality, yeah, me and Kieran did share a kiss in bed, so we both need to know where this is going to go. Instead, Harriet decides to incite this little kind of act by saying to Nicole, we should both break up with him and then see where he goes, because he needs to make his mind up about who he's going to pick at the end of the day, or who he wants to be with at the end of the day. I thought Harriet is playing a little bit of a game here. I've seen these manipulation tactics from women before. I know exactly what she's doing. She's trying to literally push Nicole out of the way so she can continue to get to know Kieran and to have Kieran, because she's got him already. She has not got her sights set on nobody else, and as we've already seen, Joey isn't really taken with her, so her only option is Kieran. Like with Nicole, her only option again is Kieran, because that's the only lad she's been talking with. So they go, they have the chat, yada yada yada. So Nicole fucks off, and decides that she wants to have a chat with Kieran to settle things. So basically, Kieran then goes and have this discussion with her, and I'll give Kieran props because he was 100% honest with Nicole when he turned around. He didn't have to, because nobody had mentioned to her what had happened in that bed. He did turn around and tell Nicole that him and Harriet did share a kiss, but he wanted to be open honest with her because he knew he'd already said to her that, you know what, I don't want to be disrespectful, and I don't think I should share a kiss with you because I have to think of Harriet and you in that scenario, but then didn't think of it the same way when he decided to kiss Harriet. So as Nicole's getting irate, this girl just starts to go high pitched, and the more she's getting irate, the more she's getting pissed off with him. So he has to ask her, why are you shouting for? So when it comes to an end, at the end of the day, Nicole is pissed at the fact that she's had this conversation with Harriet, and not once did Harriet tell her that she'd kissed, that her and Kieran kissed. At the end of the day, she was blindsided by it coming from Kieran. So Nicole is pissed as well at the fact that Harriet sat there, listened to her blurting herself out about her feelings for this dude, yeah, and what they've been talking about, to not then tell her that they'd kissed. So Nicole was basically saying that both Kieran and Harriet can F themselves. Basically, she wants nothing more to do with them. Again, I'll see how long that lasts for, because I tell you what, it's going to come to recoupling very soon, and we'll see which way Kieran is going to go at the end of the day, because I do think Kieran really does want Nicole, but Nicole and Harriet, they are getting on my nerves. Sam's getting on my nerves too. Yeah, that's where it really ended. That was the ins and outs of the situation. It's just, this whole villa is just constantly filled with Ross drama, because these people don't know how to properly communicate with each other. What they should do is take a leaf out of Ayo's and Mimi's book and realise how to communicate with someone effectively to get your point across. Yeah, and not make moves that will make you look or the other person look like a Ross dickhead at the end of the day. But that is where I'm going to end it. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and doing videos, and I'll be back on your screens very, very soon. Peace out.